Thank you so much for being with us. For now, the Nifty is holding on to that 19,170 mark, but one space which is firing away totally today is the auto pack. Not just the fact that we're expecting the June data to be good, there's also a slew of launches lined up, which is keeping the space excited. In fact, SUVs are the favorite of Indian car buyers, and in the month of July itself, auto players are going to launch or unveil half a dozen sport utility vehicles, ranging from 10 lakh rupees to a whopping 1 crore rupees. In fact, around 70 to 80% new buyers are now preferring vehicles of this class. My colleague Sumit Chaturvedi is joining us with more details on this one. Sumit.
Customers are going to be spoiled for choice in market once again, where 6 new SUVs will be either launched or unveiled in July. Let's begin with Maruti Suzuki's Invicto. Well, it's a new SUV that's going to be rebadged from Toyota by Maruti Suzuki. It's Maruti's most expensive SUV ever, going to be priced between 20 to 25 lakh rupees. It's going to make Maruti available in very premium segment. It's really going to be a very small number game for the company. Next, coming to Hyundai EXTER, where it's going to be Tata Punch rival. It's going to have 1.2 liter engine. It's going to have this powertrain, well, as good as this Hyundai i10 Neos powertrain, but it's going to bring Hyundai SUV once again in a lower segment. Coming to very expensive SUVs, Audi's Q8 e-tron will be unveiled. It's a bit of a change from current e-tron. It's going to be costing customers over 1 crore rupees. It's an electric SUV and it has a range of over 500 kilometers. Audi is going to bring it for the customers, a new refreshed version of its Q8 e-tron in July only. Then comes Honda's Elevate. Well, it's going to be unveiled and properly we are going to drive it in July. It's going to be Honda's first SUV in the market for mass segment. It's going to be launched in festival season, but we are going to see it in flesh and bones in July only. Also going to come A-Cross C3 from Citroën. It's going to be a 7-seater SUV from this French auto major, going to compete with Ertiga and other 7-seater SUVs in the market. And then Kia Seltos, the facelift will come with a panoramic sunroof and other minor changes. But it's going to be 6 to 7 new unveils or launches in July, and customers are going to be spoiled for choice in a market in which around 70% of the new sales are made. So be ready to see all those new launches or unveils next month.
Okay, so many new launches and the sector clearly firing up on all cylinders. Let me welcome on board then Mitul Shah, Head of Research at Reliance Securities. We also have with us Hormazd Sorabjee, Editor Autocar India, joining in on the show right now. Mitul, Hormazd, both of you, thank you so much for joining in. Mitul, if I could just start off with you. You know, I'm going to talk about those new SUV launches that my colleague Sumit just highlighted. But before that, come tomorrow, we're going to start seeing the monthly dispatch numbers come in. What is your expectation broadly from both passenger vehicles as well as two-wheelers?
See, both the segments, passenger vehicle and two-wheelers, have already started improving. The passenger vehicles were already in a strong footing since past 1.5 year, but two-wheelers remain subdued during past 1 year. But in last 2-3 months, what we are seeing that there is a rural recovery or revival in the rural demand particularly, which has helped two-wheeler segment also. So for this month, we'll see flat to marginal growth for both the segments. And we should note that Maruti, being a leader in this space of passenger vehicle, and it has always a half yearly shutdown for the month of June. That's why production number would be slightly low, impacting the overall passenger vehicle volume. But otherwise, still we believe that because of the, as you pointed out, strong demand for SUVs, passenger vehicle segment will continue to record healthy growth going forward also.
So that's respect to what's really lined up for the entire auto sector. But let me bring on Hormazd as well to talk to us about what he's making of the entire auto space. In fact, let me start with the two-wheeler space, Hormazd. Do you see this making a strong comeback now? The premium two-wheeler segment is looking interesting with players like Bajaj Auto and Hero Motor entering the space on the premium side. And that might give a fight to Royal Enfield. What's your own reading of what's happening in the entire premium two-wheeler space now?
the launches are in the premium end. You've got the Bajaj Triumph bikes, which everyone was anticipating because these are going to be now made in India, really the first products coming out of the collaboration. And of course, you've got Harley and Hero as well, both being kind of showcased within about a week or a little more than of each other. So I think it's created some excitement for sure. Clearly, all depends on what the pricing is going to be. But I think overall, the two-wheeler market, the mass end of the two-wheeler market, I think it has bottomed out. It is kind of going to be coming out of the woods. Again, really, it's going to be a function of the economy that drives it. And really, I think it's really at the lower end where people have been the most impacted and have taken the longest to come out of really the challenges from the pandemic. So, but I think, overall with the outlook of an economy, when you see it relatively to the global scenario, which is positive, I think one can start getting to be a bit upbeat about the two-wheeler space as well.
Right. Since we just talked about the passenger vehicle space as well, Hormazd, in PVs we're hearing that inquiry levels are now coming down. Discounts once again are inching up. Do you believe that it's a short-term phenomena and once again the demand can catch steam?
Well, I think, passenger car outlook also, I feel, I think has to be a bit tempered. I don't see too much growth going forward. I think now this quarter going forward, we'll feel the base effect. I don't see more than 1 to 2% growth. Also, what we have seen is with the semiconductor supplies easing and more availability, the supply side is also taken care of. So there's enough supply. Demand side is getting a little soft. So inventories are also piling up. Discounting is coming back in, across certain segments. It's just specific models which there is high demand and yet supply issues that are still having a challenge. Classic case being the Innova Hycross, which waiting period going for over a year, but again, very small supply of that. But I think overall, it's going to be, in a way, back to business where dealers will actually have to do some work. And really, I think the hard selling will start now.
Mitul, let's get stock specific and discuss that. Give me one stock each from the passenger vehicle, commercial vehicle as well as two-wheeler category that you like the most.
From passenger vehicle point of view, Maruti will always remain a clear winner with a strong dealer network, and of course these new models are now coming in a SUV segment which is in a very high demand, and within SUV also there is a flavor for the high end vehicles, and where the Maruti was lacking, there was a huge product gap, so that is now getting bridged out. So that's why we believe that Maruti would remain a strong player in the PV side. Within two-wheeler side, we believe that TVS is going to be a very big winner because it's not only about the recovery in the domestic two-wheeler market, but it is also about the strong revival of the export business in the second half of financial year, where the company's margin would get kick booster and will see surprise on the EBITDA margin side for that company. On the CV side, we are quite negative. We believe that MHCV cycle is now at the verge of peak out, and anytime probably towards the end of FY24 or FY25, it will see down cycle, and that's why we remain negative on that, and we recommend sell recommendation on the Ashok Leyland.
Okay, so that's the top recommendations coming in, but let me get a technical perspective also into the conversation. And Kunal, if I can ask you about Maruti Suzuki, because it's just that 200 rupees shy of that 10,000 mark, as well as M&M, which is, I think, what, record high level?
Yes,
what's
it is
the
already
chart on that? And let me add JBM Auto as well, given the fact it's up 30% this week.
Yeah, I think JBM Motor has moved up higher. I've not tracked the stock off late, but I think it's moved up above the 300 levels the last I had seen. So again, very attractive moves which you've seen for JBM Motor over the last couple of weeks. For Maruti, I think the case could be interesting because I think that's a stock which I've been regularly tracking, at least over the last 1 month. The recovery from 9,000, 9,100 towards now 9,900 approximately for Maruti. All of that looks very attractive, and it indicates that this could be a bigger trend in the making. So the mild correction which we'd seen for Maruti almost a fortnight back, where the stock corrected some 500 points. I think that correction is now easily absorbed, and the stock could probably now catapult itself towards 10,400 odd mark. That's the target which I would now ascertain for Maruti on the upside. And for M&M, I think again the stock has confirmed a classic breakout. It's a flag pattern breakout for M&M on the charts, and we could be looking out for at least another 80 to 100 points. So possibly a 1540, 1550 for M&M could be something which you can look out for.
Well, 200 points higher, 19,200 is what we are gearing towards, and who knows, soon we could even be hitting that 20,000 mark on the Nifty. But Hormazd, have to ask you before we let you go, you know, all the buzz around Tesla now planning to enter India, that, you know, much covered and much, you know, talked about meeting between Elon Musk as well as Narendra Modi as well. Wanted to understand, what are your thoughts on the same?
Well, you know, Tesla and Elon Musk, they are the poster boys of the EV world, so a lot of excitement around them. But honestly, I don't think, you know, it's going to make a big dent in the EV space. Firstly, Tesla don't have the budget models. I mean, look at the way Nexon has cornered 90% or 80% of the market with what is just a fundamental and basic EV, because that's really what Indian consumers want at a basic price. I don't think Tesla in any way can compete at that level or even compete in segments higher. So it's going to be a high-end vehicle. They might make a low-cost one. We believe that is in the works, but we are not sure. But even so, how cheap can they make it, or how low will they go in terms of price? So I think it's you know, great to talk about, but I think if and when they finally come, I don't think you know, they're going to grab the market as some people think they will. It'll kind of give you know, let's say, make the EV space a lot more special and exciting. And again, Teslas will have to kind of tailor their cars for Indian markets, because right now, I've driven a Tesla Model 3. The ground clearance is so low, it just hits just about every speed breaker.
No, definitely Tesla will have to reimagine itself for India. But just, Mitul, before I let you go, from the OEM perspective, do you see a huge opportunity for the component makers, etc., if at all Tesla and other players as well come to India? Mitul, the question is for you.
Is it for me?
Yeah, Mitul.
Yeah, we believe that there are various ancillary companies also going to get benefited apart from the OEMs with this revival. But there are few segments like tire segment where the OEM revival supports the volume. But apart from that, the replacement demand and probably the export recovery is a key trigger for their top line. But on the other hand, raw material prices for these companies are coming down drastically. So we believe that tire companies would continue to enjoy higher margins, and margin would further improve in this Q1 and Q2 sequential basis. And there is a earning upgrade and re-rating to continue for these companies.
Okay, Mitul, on that note, we'll let you go. Hormazd, thank you so much for joining us and making time for us. So that's the holistic discussion coming in on the auto sector.